Reasonable doubt. Murder in the first degree. Premeditated homicide is the most serious charge tried in our criminal courts. You have heard a long and complex case, gentlemen, and it is now your duty to sit down and try and separate the facts from the fantasy. One man is dead. The life of another is at stake. If there is a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must declare him not guilty. If, however, there is no reasonable doubt, then he must be found guilty. Whichever way you decide, the verdict must be unanimous. I urge you to deliberate honestly and thoughtfully. You are faced with grave responsibility. Thank you, gentlemen.
Chewing gum? Gum? Gum?
Thank you, but no.
You know something?
I know lots of things. I'm in advertising.
You know, it's pretty hot.
I never would have known that if you hadn't told me. Would you?
Suppose not. I'd kind of forgotten.
All I've done all day is sweat.
I bet you aren't sweating like that kid who was tried in the courtroom today.
Well, you'd think they'd at least turn on some air conditioning over here. I almost dropped dead in court.
My taxes are high enough, thank you.
Well, they should go fast anyways.
Yeah, it's very hot. Bob, did he just lock that door?
Yeah, looks like he did.
Yeah, what do they think we are? Crooks in here?
They lock us in for a little while.
And then they lock up that kid forever. That's okay by me.
I never knew they did that.
Yeah.
Sure, they locked the door. What do you think?
I didn't know. It never occurred to me.
Gentlemen, shall we admit right now that it's hot and humid and our tempers are short?
Yes, it's been a pretty hard week.
I feel just fine.
I wonder what's been going on down at the office. You know how it is in advertising. In 6 days, my job could be gone and the whole company too. They aren't going to like this.
Well, figure this is our duty.
I didn't object to doing my duty. I just mentioned I might not have a job by the time I get back.
Well, ask him for a job. He's rich. Look at that suit.
Is it custom tailored?
Yeah, it is.
I have an uncle who's a tailor.
Oh, really? How does he do?
Not too well. You know, a friend of his, a friend of my uncle, the tailor that is, well, this friend wanted to be on this jury in my place.
Why didn't you let him? I would have done anything to miss this.
What? And get caught or something? You know what kind of a fine you could pay for anything like that? Well, this friend of my uncle's, he was on a jury on a case like this about 10 years ago. A case just like this one.
So what happened?
They let him off. Reasonable doubt. And you know, about 8 years later, they found out that he had done it, actually. A guilty man, a murderer, was turned loose in the streets.
Did they get him?
No,
Why not?
they couldn't. You know, a man can't be held in double jeopardy unless it's a hung jury. You can't try a man twice for the same crime.
Oh, well, this isn't going to happen here.
6 days. They could have done this in 2. Talk. I mean, did you ever hear so much talk about nothing?
Well, I mean, I guess they're entitled to it, right?
Well, yeah, sure. Everybody gets a fair trial. That's the system. Well, I suppose you can't say anything about it.
How do you like the business about the knife? Or did you ever hear a phonier story?
Well, look, you know what you expect, right? You got to know what you're dealing with.
Well, he bought a switch knife that night.
and then he lost it.
A hole in his pocket?
A hole in his father.
Such an awful way to kill your father. Like a knife in his chest.
Look, the kind of people that they are. You know them. That's how they are. Oh, Lulu, these summer colds will be the death of you.
Oh, well, I had one last year. I was on vacation too.
All right, gentlemen, let's take seats.
All right, this better be fast. I've got ticket to Hamilton tonight. I must be the only guy in the world who hasn't seen it yet. Okay, Your Honor, start the show.
Right. How about sitting down? The gentleman at the window. How about sitting down?
I'm sorry.
It's tough to figure, isn't it? A kid kills his father, bing, just like that. You know what? I think it's the environment. They just let the kids run wild, you know? Maybe it serves them right.
Ah, there are better proofs than some emotion you may have. Perhaps a dislike for some groups.
Well, we all agreed that it was hot.
And that our tempers will get shot.
That's if we disagree. But this is open and shut. Let's just get it done, guys.
All right. Now, you gentlemen can handle this any way you like. I'm not going to make any rules or anything. If we want to discuss it first and then take a vote, that's one way. Or we could vote first and see how we stand.
Well, let's vote now. I mean, who knows, yeah? We can all go home.
Yeah, right. Let's vote now.
All right, let's vote.
Anybody who doesn't want to vote? Right.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay. All those voting guilty, raise your hands.
Yeah.
9, 10, 11. Okay, that's 11 guilty. All those not guilty?
Me.
Hey, you're in left field, I say.
Okay. 11 to 1. 11 votes guilty. 1 not guilty.
Do you really believe he's not guilty?
I don't know.
After 6 days. After 6 days, he doesn't know.
In 6 days, I could learn calculus. This is ABC.
I don't believe it's as easy as ABC.
Well, I never saw a guiltier man in my life.
What does a guilty man look like? I mean, he's not guilty until we say he's guilty. Are we to vote on his face?
Hey, come on. You sat there right in court with the rest of us and heard everything that was said. The man's a dangerous killer, and you can see it on his face.
Where do you look to see if a man's a dangerous killer?
Oh, come on.
No, tell me, where do you look? I mean, what are the facial characteristics of a killer? I'd like to know.
Look, what is there about the case that makes you think that the boy is innocent?
Well, he is 19 years old.
Well, that's old enough. He knifed his own father. 4 inches into the chest. An innocent 19-year-old kid.
I agree with you that the boy is guilty, but I think we should avoid emotionally colored arguments.
All right. They proved it a dozen different ways. You want me to list them for you?
No.
Well, do you believe the stupid story that he told?
Now, come on.
Do you believe the kid's story?
Look, I don't know whether I believe the story or I don't. Maybe I don't, yeah?
So what do you vote not guilty for?
There were 11 of you who voted guilty. It's not so easy for me to just raise my hand and send the boy off to die. I want to talk about it for a while.
Well, you can talk, but why do you say it's easy for me? It's not easy for me.
Or me.
No one says it's easy for you.
Is Still just as guilty whether the vote is an easy one or a hard one.
Hey, is there something wrong because I voted fast?
No, not necessarily.
Well, I think the guy is guilty. Okay, you couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I don't want to change your mind.
All right. Just what are you thinking about then?
Look, I just want to talk for a while, okay? Look, I mean, this kid, he's been kicked around his whole life. His mother died when he was 9, and that's not much of a head start. Living in a slum. He's a tough, angry kid. You want to know why slum kids get that way? Because we knock them over the head once a day, every day. I just think maybe we owe him a few words. That's all.
All right. It's hard for sure. It was hard for me. Everything I got, I fought for. I worked my way through college. That was a long time ago. Perhaps you do forget. Look, I fought, yes. But I never killed.
I know what it's like. But I never killed nobody.
I've been kicked around too. Just wait until you've worked in an ad agency and the big boy that buys the advertising walks in. We all know.
In my country, kicking is a science. But let's try to find something better than that.
Look, I don't mind telling you this, mister. We don't owe that kid a damn thing. Okay? He got a fair trial, didn't he? Do you know how much that trial cost? He's lucky he even got it. Look, we're all grown-ups here. You're not telling us we're supposed to believe him, knowing what he is. I've lived among them, all right? They never tell the truth. You can't believe a word they say. You know that.
I don't know that. What a terrible thing for a man to believe. Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic? You have no monopoly of the truth.
All right, all right. It's not Sunday. We don't need a sermon.
But what this man says is dangerous.
Listen, I don't see any need for arguing like this. I think we ought to be able to behave like gentlemen.
Right, right.
All right, if you insist.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. If we're going to discuss this case, why? Let's discuss the facts, right?
That is a very good point. We have a job to do. Let's do it.
All right. I might have an idea here. Now, I'm just thinking out loud, but it seems to me that it's up to all of us to convince this gentleman here that we're right and he's wrong. Maybe if we each spoke for a minute or two, right on for size?
That sounds fair enough.
Yeah, right. Very fair to me.
Why don't we go once around the table?
Okay, let's start it off.
Right. Why don't you say something?
I just think he's guilty. I think it was obvious.
Obvious? In what way was it obvious?
I mean that nobody proved otherwise.
Proved otherwise? Nobody needs to prove otherwise. It's innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't have to even open his mouth. That's in the Constitution, the Fifth Amendment. You've heard of it.
Yeah, everyone has.
Right.
Yeah, of course I've heard of it. I know what it says. I just, okay, what I mean is, I just think he's guilty.
No reasons, just guilty. Please, a man's life is at stake here.
Okay. Let's get to the facts. Number one, let's take the old man who lived in the apartment below the apartment where the murder took place. At 10 minutes past 12 on the night of the murder, he said he heard a lot of noise going on in the apartment above. And then he heard the boy shout, "I'm gonna kill you." A second later, he heard the sound of a body falling. He ran to the door. just in time to see the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. You call the police? They found the father with a knife in his chest.
Right. And the coroner fixed the time of death at around midnight.
Right. Now what else do you want?
It doesn't seem to fit.
Look, the boy's entire story is flimsy. He claimed he was at the movies. That's a little ridiculous, isn't it? He couldn't even remember the name of the picture he saw.
That's right. Did you hear that? No, you're absolutely right.
He didn't have any ticket stub.
Who keeps a ticket stub at the movies?
Yeah, that's true now.
I suppose so. But the cashier didn't remember him.
And the ticket
Look.
taker didn't either.
What about the woman across the street? If her testimony doesn't prove it, then nothing does.
That's right. She saw the killing, didn't she?
Let's go in order.
Okay. Here's a woman who is lying in bed and can't sleep, all right? It's hot, and then she gets up, she walks through a window, and she sees the kid sticking the knife into his father. She sees it.
How can she be so sure that she saw the kid when she says she saw it through the window of a passing elevator?
She's known the kid all his life. The window's right opposite hers. And across the L tracks, and she swore she saw him do it.
I heard her swear to it.
Okay. And they proved in court that at night, when you look through the windows of a passing L train, you can see through it, right? They proved that.
Hey, weren't you telling us a moment or two ago that you can't trust them, that you can't believe them?
So?
So? She's one of them too, isn't she? How come you believed her?
You're a funny one, aren't you?
Now, let's take it easy.
Hey, come on. Sit down. What are you letting him get you all riled up for? Relax.
Gentlemen, they did take us out to the woman's room and we looked through the window of a passing train. Didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And weren't you able to see what happened on the other side?
Well,
You see?
I didn't see as well as they said I would see, but yes, I did see what happened on the other side.
Come on, let's all calm down now. Yeah. It's your turn.
I'll pass it.
That's your privilege. How about you?
Well, I don't know. I started to be convinced, with the testimony from the people on the other side of the room. Didn't they say something about an argument between the father and the son at about 7 o'clock that night? I may be wrong.
Excuse me. I think it was 8 o'clock, not 7.
Yes, 8 o'clock. That's right.
All right. They heard the father hit the boy twice and then saw the boy walk angrily out of the house.
That's right.
And what does that prove?
Well, it doesn't exactly prove anything. It's just part of the picture. I didn't say it proved anything.
Right. Anything else?
No.
Look. I don't know. Most of it's been said already. Look, we can talk all day about this thing, but I think we're wasting our time.
Well, I don't.
Well, neither do I.
Oh, just look at the kid's record, all right? He stole a car. He's been arrested for mugging. I think they said he stabbed somebody in the arm.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he was picked up for knife fighting, and at 15, he was sent to reform school.
And they sent him to reform school for stabbing someone.
This is a very fine boy.
Look, ever since he was 5 years old, his father beat him up regularly. He used his fists.
So would I on a kid like that.
You're right. It's the kids, the way they are. They don't listen. I have a kid. When he was 8, he ran away from a fight. I saw him. I was so ashamed. I told him right up, I'm going to make a man out of you or bust you up trying. When he was 15, we had a fight. He hit me in the face. I haven't seen him for 3 years now. Rotten kid. I hate tough kids. They work your heart out for them and... All right. Let's just get on with this.
Look, we're missing the point here. This boy, let's say he's a product of a filthy neighborhood and a broken home. We can't help that. We're not here to go into the reasons why slums are breeding grounds for criminals. They are. I know it. So do you. The children who come out of slum backgrounds are potential menaces to society.
You said it there, partner. I don't want any part of them. Believe me.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Now, wait a second.
I used to play in a backyard that was filled with garbage. Maybe it still smells on me, huh?
Now. Let's be reasonable. There's nothing personal in here.
Oh, there is something personal.
Come on now, fella. He didn't mean you. Let's not get too sensitive about this.
Who did he mean?
Yes, I can understand this man's sensitivity.
Now, please, let's stop this bickering.
For God's sake, we're wasting time.
Let's
We sit down.
it's your turn, number 8.
Oh, all right. I've had a peculiar feeling about this trial from the very beginning. Somehow I felt that the defense counsel didn't really conduct a thorough cross-examination. Too many questions were left unasked.
Right. While it doesn't change my opinion about the guilt of the kid, still, I agree with you that the defense counsel was bad.
So what?
So this is a point.
What about the facts?
Too many questions were unanswered.
And what about the questions that were answered? For instance, let's talk about that cute little knife our fine, upright kid admitted to buying.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's bring it in here and take another look at it. Mr. Foreman, could we have the knife, please?
Yeah.
We all know what it looks like. I don't see why we have to look at it again, huh? What do you think?
The gentleman has a right to see exhibits and evidence.
Well, it's okay by me.
Look. This knife is a pretty strong piece of evidence. Don't you agree?
I do.
Now, let's get the sequence of events right as they relate to the switch knife.
All right. The boy admits going out of his house at 8 o'clock after being slapped by his father.
Or punched.
Or punched. He went to a neighborhood store and bought a switch knife. The storekeeper arrested the following day when he admitted selling it to the boy.
And I think everybody admits that it's an unusual knife. It's pretty hard to forget something like that.
The storekeeper identified the knife and said it was the only one of its kind that he had in stock. Now, why did the boy get it?
Yeah, as a present for his friend. That's what he said.
Am I right so far?
You're right.
You bet he's right. Now listen to the man. He knows what he's talking about.
Next, the boy claims that on the way home, the knife must have fallen through a hole in his coat pocket and that he never saw it again. Now, that's the story, gentlemen. You know what really happened? The boy took the knife home and a few hours later stabbed his father with it and even remembered to wipe off the fingerprints. Everyone connected with the case identified this knife. Now, are you trying to tell me that someone just picked it off the streets and went up to the boy's house and stabbed his father just to be amusing?
No. I'm saying it's possible that the boy lost the knife, that someone else stabbed the father with a very similar knife. It's possible.
Wait. Take a look at that knife. It's a very strange knife. I've never seen anything like that before in my life. Neither had the storekeeper who sold it to him. Aren't you trying to make us accept a pretty incredible coincidence?
I'm not trying to make you accept anything. I'm just saying it's possible.
And I'm saying it's not possible.
And I'm saying it's possible.
What? What are you trying to do?
What is this? Who do you think you are?
Look at it. It's the same knife.
Quiet. Let's be quiet.
Hey, where did you get that?
I got it in a little corner junk shop across the street from where the boy lives. It cost $2.
No. You listen to me.
I'm listening.
You pulled a real smart trick there, but it proved absolutely nothing. There could be maybe a dozen knives like that.
Maybe there are.
The boy lied. And you know it.
And maybe he didn't lie. Maybe he did lose the knife. Maybe he did go to the movies. And maybe the reason the cashier didn't remember him was because he sneaked into the movies. Is there not anyone here who hasn't sneaked into the movies once or twice when they were young?
Well, I did not.
Really? Not even once?
We did not have movies.
Look, maybe he did go to the movies. Maybe he didn't go to the movies. And he may have lied. Do you think he lied? Do you?
Now that's a stupid question. Sure, he lied.
Do you think he lied?
No, you don't have to ask me that. You know my answer. He lied.
Well, what about you? Do you think he lied?
I don't know.
No. Wait a second. I mean, what are you, the guy's lawyer? Listen. The little kid, the 11 of us over here who still think he's guilty, and you're alone, all right? Who do you think you are, and what are you going to try to accomplish? If you want to be stubborn and hang this jury, he'll be tried again and found guilty. Sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? I mean, we could be here all night.
It's only one night. A man may die.
Oh, now, come on.
Well, yes, that's true.
I think we ought to get on with it now.
Right? Let's get going here then.
How do you like this guy, huh?
Huh. What do you say? Hey, come on, man. You're the one holding up the show.
Look, obviously you think the boy is guilty. Do you?
I have a doubt in my mind.
But look, you really haven't presented anything to us that makes it possible for us to understand your doubt. That the old man downstairs, he heard it. He heard the kid shriek it out.
Hey, come on. The woman across the L tracks saw it.
Yeah, we know he bought a switch knife that night, and we don't know where he was at the movies.
And the kid and his father, they did have a fight that night.
Look, he's been a violent kid all the way. And while that doesn't prove anything...
Still, you know...
You know what?
Still.
I've got a proposition to make. I want to call for a vote. I want you 11 men to vote by secret ballot. I'll abstain. If at the end of the vote, there are still 11 votes for guilty, then I won't stand alone. We'll take in a guilty verdict right now. Is that okay?
Okay, let's do it.
That sounds fair. Is everyone agreed?
Yeah, I certainly am.
Sounds good. Let's roll it.
Perhaps this is best.
Yeah. Give me.
Right here.
All right. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Right. Guilty. 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 Guilty.
That's 6.
Please. 6 guilty. 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 Not guilty.
How do you like that?
Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
All right. Who did it? What idiot changed his mind?
Is that the way to talk about a man's life?
Whose life are you talking about? The life of a dead man? Or the life of a murderer?
Look, I want to know who.
So do I.
Excuse me, this was a secret ballot.
So? No one looked why we did it, but now I want to know.
A secret ballot, yes? We all agreed. If a gentleman wants to keep it a secret, then should be allowed to keep it a secret.
What do you mean? There are no secrets here. I know who did it. What's the matter with you? You come here and vote guilty, and then this slick preacher tears your heart out with some stupid story about slum kids and you know, who can't help themselves being murderers, if you please. And then you change your vote? Now if that isn't the most sickening.
Now, hold it.
Look, I agree with you that the boy is guilty, but we gotta be fair.
Hold it? Be fair? That's just what I'm saying. We are here to put a guilty man into the chair. Now, all of a sudden, we're paying attention to bloody fairy tales.
Now, wait a minute.
Hey, you listen to me.
Let's try to keep this civilized, gentlemen.
It isn't organized or civilized. So at least let's try to be civilized.
Please, I would like to say something here. I have always believed that a man is entitled to have unpopular opinions in this country. That is why I came here. I wanted to have the right to disagree.
All right. And do you disagree with us?
With you? Usually I would. In this one case, I do not disagree with you. But the point I'm trying to make is, in my country...
Oh, now, what do we have to do? Listen to the whole history of his country.
Wait! It's always wise to bear in mind what happened in other countries when people aren't allowed to disagree. We are. So, let's stick to the subject.
Yeah, let's stick to the subject. I want to ask you, what made you change your vote?
I want to know too. You haven't told us yet.
Now, what makes you think I did change my vote?
Because I do. Now just get on with it.
There's nothing for him to tell you. He didn't change his vote. I did.
I was going to tell you, but you were so sure of yourself.
Sorry. Now, okay, number 9.
Maybe you would like to know why.
Let me tell you why. That kid is a murderer.
The man wants to talk. The man wants to talk.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. This gentleman here chose to stand alone against all of us because he's got the right to do it. It takes a great deal of courage for anyone to stand alone, even if you believe very strongly in something. He left the verdict to us, but he gambled for support. And I decided I will give it to him. I want to hear more. A vote, Mr. Foreman, is 10-2.
That's fine. If the speech is over, can we get going?
Look, if there was anything in the kid's favor, I'd vote not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Neither do I. They're clutching at straws.
As guilty as they get. That's the kid, I suppose.
It's that one juror that's holding out. But he'll come around. He's got to. Fundamentally, he's a very reasonable man.
I guess so.
They haven't come up with one real fact yet to back up a not guilty verdict.
Well, I guess it's hard, you know.
Yes, it is. And what does a guilty beyond reasonable doubt really mean?
What's a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. When a life is at stake, what is a reasonable doubt? Look, you've got to have law and order. You've got to draw the line somewhere. If you don't, everyone would start knifing people.
Not much doubt here, then.
Yeah, but the two men think so. I wonder why. I really wonder why.
Well, we do hear stories of innocent men going to jail or death sometimes. And then years later, things turn up.
Right. And then, on the other hand, some killers get turned loose and they go and do it again. Look, they squeeze out on some technicality and kill again.
Look, buddy. I kind of got a bit excited back there. You know how it is. I didn't mean to be nasty, huh? Nothing personal.
Okay.
Look here. Supposing you answer me this. If the kid didn't kill him, then who did?
As far as I know, we're supposed to decide whether or not the boy on trial is guilty. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives here.
All right, but then who else had a motive?
The boy's father was along in years, maybe an old grudge.
And remember, it is guilty beyond reasonable doubt. This is an important thing for all of us to remember.
Now, everyone's a lawyer. Okay. Supposing you explain to us what your reasonable doubt is.
Well, that's not easy. So far, it's a feeling I had. A feeling. Perhaps you don't understand that.
No, I don't.
Feeling? What are we going to do? Spend the night talking about our
What are we
feeling?
going to do? Spend the whole night talking about our feelings?
You said a mouthful. Look, number 9, the old man heard the kid yell, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard the father's body falling and hitting the floor, and he saw the boy running out of the house 15 seconds later.
And where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right. And let's not forget the woman across the street. She looked into the open window and saw the boy stab his father. She saw it.
Now, if that's not enough for you.
Not enough for me.
Okay. What is enough for you? I'd like to know.
How do you like him? It's like talking into a dead phone.
Listen, the woman saw the killing through the windows of a moving elevated train. The train had 5 cars. She saw it through the windows of the last 2 cars. She remembers the most insignificant details.
Well, what do you have to say about that?
I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me.
Well, supposing you think about it. Oh, come on, man. Lend me your pencil. Let's play some tic-tac-toe. Maybe you can pass some time that way. Hey, now wait a minute.
It's a man's life.
What do you think you are?
You know, all right. Listen, let's take it easy, okay?
I've got a good mind to walk around this table and belt him one.
No, please. I don't want any fighting in here.
And did you see him? The nerve. The absolute bloody nerve.
All right. Forget it. He didn't mean anything by it.
Listen. Why don't we all sit down?
This isn't a game. Hey, who does he think he is?
Gentlemen, weren't we talking about elevated trains? Huh?
Yes, we were.
Okay, so?
Let me ask you this. How long does it take an elevated train going at top speed to pass a given point?
Well, what does that got to do with anything?
How long would it take? Just guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Neither would I.
I don't think they mentioned it.
Well, what do you think?
About 10 or 12 seconds, maybe?
I'd say that's a reasonable guess. Anyone else?
I would think about, yes, 10 seconds perhaps.
Yeah, maybe around 10 seconds. Yes.
All right, we agree. 10 seconds. Now, what are you getting at?
This. An L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. That given point is the window of the room where the killing took place. Now, you can almost reach your hand out of that window and touch the L train. Right?
That's right. I tried it.
So,
All right. Now let me ask you this. Did anyone here ever live right next to the L train tracks?
I've lived close to them.
And they do make a lot of noise, don't they?
Yeah.
When your window is open and the L train is going by, it's so loud that it's unbearable. You can barely hear yourself think.
Okay, you can't hear yourself think. Now get to the point.
The old man who lived downstairs said he heard the boy say...
He didn't say. He screamed it.
Okay, the old man said he heard the boy scream, "I'm going to kill you," and then he heard the body fall 1 second later. That's the testimony, right? 1 second.
Yes, that's right.
And the woman across the tracks, she said that she saw the body and the killing happen through the last 2 cars of the L train. Is that right? The last 2 cars.
right?
So cars. Right. So an L train takes 10 seconds to pass a given point. That's 2 seconds per car. That L train would have been going past the old man's window for at least 6 seconds before the body fell. According to the woman, that is. Which means that the L train would have been going past the old man's nose when he heard the boy scream, "I'm going to kill you." It's not possible he could have heard it.
What do you mean? Sure, he could have heard it.
With an L train going by,
He said the boy yelled it out, okay?
the L train makes a lot of noise.
Well, that's enough for me.
Yeah, that's enough for me too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, with the L noise, it's just...
What are you people talking about? Are you guys calling the old man a liar?
Something doesn't seem to fit.
Well, it seems to reason that this old man...
Crazy. You're crazy. Why would he lie? What's he got to gain?
Attention, maybe.
You keep coming up with these bright sayings, man. Why don't you send them off to the newspaper? You get $2 for each of them.
What has that got to do with a man's life? Please go ahead. Why might the old man have lied? You have a right to be heard.
It's just that I looked at him for a very, very long time. The seam of his jacket was split right under his arm. Did you notice it? He is a very old man with a torn jacket and 2 canes. I know him much better than any one of you here. He is a very quiet, frightened, insignificant old man who has been nothing all his life, who has never had any recognition. His name in the newspapers. Nobody knows him even after 75 years, and that is a very, very sad thing. A man like this needs to be recognized, to be questioned, to be listened to, and to be quoted just once. This is very important.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell us that he lied about a thing like this just so that he could feel important?
No, he wouldn't really lie. But perhaps he'd make himself believe that he heard those words and recognized the boy's face.
Well, that's the most fantastic story I've ever heard. How can you even make up a thing like that?
I'm not making it up.
You must be making it up. People don't lie about things like that.
He made himself believe that that is the truth.
And what do you know about it?
I speak from experience.
What?
I am the same man. I am the same man.
I think we all understand now. Thank you.
Well, if you want to admit you're a liar, it's all right by me.
Now, that is too much.
He's a liar. He just told us so.
He did not say he's a liar. He was just explaining.
Hey, didn't you admit that you're a liar?
Hey, please. He was explaining the circumstances under which the old man might have lied. There is a difference.
A liar is a liar, and that's all there is to it.
Please have some compassion.
Gentlemen, please. We have our job and our duty here.
Well, I think they've covered it pretty good here.
I hope we have.
All right. Is there anything else?
Cough drop?
No, thank you.
Anybody else want a cough drop?
Well, I'll take
Come
one.
on.
I'll
Let's
take one.
get on with it.
I'll take one. Thanks. Okay, now, there's something else I'd like to point out here, Mr. Foreman. I think we've proved already that the old man couldn't have heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you."
I disagree.
Well, let's hear him through anyway. Wait.
But supposing the old man did hear the boy say, "I'm going to kill you." Now this phrase, how many times have we all used it? We use it every day. "Come on, Junior, if you don't do that, I'm going to kill you." Or, "Go on, Rocky, kill him." We say it hundreds of times. It doesn't really mean that we're going to kill someone.
But wait, don't the circumstances alter that somewhat? Huh?
Exactly. The old man was murdered.
And one thing more. The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you." And the kid screamed it out of the top of his lungs.
That's right. That's the way I understand it.
And now don't try and tell me that the kid didn't mean it. Anybody who says a thing like that, the way the kid said it, and they mean it.
And how they mean it.
Do you really think the kid would shout something out like that so that the whole neighborhood would hear it? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Bright? He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
Doesn't. He doesn't speak good English.
Well, the boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Damn!
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
The vote is 9-3.
Hey, I'd like to know why you changed your vote.
I think there is a doubt.
Where? What is the doubt?
There's the knife.
Oh, fine.
He's talked you into believing a fairy tale.
Go on. Give us the reasons.
The old man too. Now, maybe the old man didn't lie, but then maybe he did. Maybe the old man doesn't like the kid.
Well, if that just isn't the end.
I think there is a doubt.
What are you basing it on? Stories that this guy made up? I mean, he ought to write for Amazing Detective Monthly. He'd make a fortune. Listen, guys, he had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't the lawyer bring up all these points?
Lawyers can't think of everything.
Oh, brother, you just sit there and pull stories out of thin air. And now we're supposed to believe that the old man didn't get out of bed, run to the door and see the kid beat it downstairs 15 seconds after the killing.
Yeah, that's the testimony, I believe.
And the old man swore to this. Yes, he swore to this only so he could be important.
Now, did the old man say he ran to the door?
Oh, ran or what? What's the difference? He got there.
Now, I don't remember what he said, but I don't see how he could run.
Look. He said he went. I remember it now. He went from his bedroom to the front door. That's enough, isn't it?
Where was his bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere.
down the hall somewhere. Are we to send a man off to die because it was down the hall somewhere?
I thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember this?
No, I don't.
I don't remember either.
Mr. Foreman, I'd like to take another look at the diagram of the apartment, please.
Oh, why don't we have them run the trial all over again so that just you can get everything straight?
The bedroom is down the hall somewhere. Do you know where it is? Please, a man's life is at stake here. Do you know where the bedroom is? Do you know?
Well,
Mr. Foreman?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, all right. What's this one for now? How come you're the only guy in the room who wants to keep looking at exhibits?
I'd like to see this one too.
And so do I.
I want to stop wasting time.
Ah, God. Are we going to start wading through all the nonsense about where the body was found?
No, we're not. We're going to find out how a man who's had 2 strokes in the past 3 years and walks with a pair of canes could get from his bedroom door to the front door in 15 seconds.
Hey, he said 20 seconds.
He said 15 seconds.
How does he know how much 15 seconds are? You can't judge a thing like that.
He said 15, and he was very positive about it.
Hello. He's an old man. I mean, half the time he was confused. How can he be positive about anything? I mean, how can he be positive? You know how it is.
No,
You know.
I don't know. Maybe you know?
You want this?
Ah, yes. Thank you.
Oh, just do me a favor. Wake me up when this is all over.
Look, I've looked at that diagram for 2 hours. Enough is enough.
Wait. Some of us are interested. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So here is the apartment where the killing took place. And the old man's apartment is directly beneath this and exactly the same. Now, here are the L tracks and the bedroom, and another bedroom, living room, and this is the hall. Now, the old man was in bed in this room. And then he says that he got up and walked out of the bedroom, down the hall, and then through the hall, and then to the front door, just to see the boy racing down the stairs. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the story.
But that's what happened.
15 seconds after he heard the body fall.
That is correct.
Okay. Now, here is the old man's bed. It's by the window, and it's 12 feet from his bed to the bedroom door, and the length of the hall is 43 feet, which means the old man would have had to get up, pick up his canes, walk 12 feet to the bedroom door, and walk another 43 feet down the hall to get to the front door, all in 15 seconds. Do you think this is possible?
You know it's possible.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
He would have been in a hurry.
No, but
But
he could only walk very slowly. They had to help him onto the witness chair.
Hey, come on. You make it sound like it was a long walk. It's not.
For an old man who uses a cane, it is a long walk.
Hey, what are you doing, number 8?
I want to try this thing. Let's see how long it actually took him. I'm going to pace off 12 feet. That is from the bed to the bedroom door.
You're crazy. You can't recreate a thing like that.
But perhaps if we could see it, this is important point.
It's a ridiculous waste of time. Let him do it.
I can't see any harm in it. Foolish. But yeah, go ahead.
Hand me a chair, please. Right? Okay, so this chair here, this is the bedroom door. Now, how far would you say it is from here to the door of this room?
I would say about 20 feet.
Yeah, just about.
20 feet is close enough. So from here to the door and back is 40 feet. It's slightly shorter than the length of the hall. Isn't that so?
Yes, maybe a few feet, maybe.
Look, this is absolutely insane. What makes you think you can do this, huh?
We can't stop him.
Do you mind if I try it? According to you, it'll only take 15 seconds. Surely we can spare that. Right. So who's got a watch with a seconds hand?
Oh, I do.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna get here in bed, and I'm going to say his canes are right next to him, and you can let me know when you're ready for me to start.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, we'll time you from when the body falls, right? I'll yell go.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for the hand to be at 60.
Okay.
Go!
1, 2, and the old man gets out of bed. 3, 4,
Speed it up, huh? He walked twice as fast as that.
But
5.
this is, I think, even more quickly than the old man walked in the courtroom.
Oh, come on. No, it isn't.
19. If you want me to walk faster, I can.
Yeah. Why don't you speed it up a little bit?
Okay. And stop.
Right?
What time is it?
15, 20, 25, 39 seconds exactly.
What? That can't be.
39 seconds?
Now, that's interesting.
Hey, now, you know.
Well, what do you think of that?
39 seconds. 39.
And the old cripple swore on his oath that it was only 15.
He may have been a little bit off on the speed that the old cripple moved at, but 24 seconds off. Well, now you know that's.
Far be it for me to call anyone a liar, and even allowing for a difference in speed between the old man and you, why, there is still
quite a discrepancy.
But it's my guess that the old man was trying to get to the door and heard someone racing down the stairs and assumed that it was the boy.
I think that is possible.
Assumed. Assumed. Now listen to me, you people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my day. But you know what? This little display takes the cake.
What dishonesty?
Tell him, come on. Okay? You know what? You come in here with your bleeding all over the floor about poor slum children and the hard life they have, and you make up all these wild stories. And you have a bunch of soft-hearted ladies sitting around here listening to you. Well, you know what? I'm not one of them. I'm getting real sick and tired of you. What's the matter with you people? This kid's guilty. He's got to burn. We're letting him slip through our fingers.
Our fingers? Are you his executioner?
Yes, I'm one of them.
Or perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
Oh, for this kid, you bet I'd like to pull the switch.
Oh, I'm so sorry for you.
Don't you start with me.
How it must feel like to want to pull the switch.
You shut up.
You're a sadist.
Oh, shut up.
You want this boy to die because you personally want to see him die, not because of the facts. You're a beast. You disgust me.
Oh, shut up. Let me go. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him.
You don't really mean you're going to kill me. Now, do you?
What? Well, what are you all looking at?
Well, I don't see why we have to behave like children here.
No, nor do I. we have a responsibility. This is one of the great things about this democracy, that we have been, what is that? Notified. We have been notified by mail to come down here and decide on the guilt or innocence of a man we don't even know. We have nothing to gain or lose by this verdict. This is what makes us strong. This is why we do this. We should not make it a personal thing.
Well, thank you very much.
Why you thank me?
Because we forget. It's good to be reminded.
I'm glad we're going to be civilized about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No, we're somewhere. Or getting there, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Who's got an idea?
Maybe we should try another vote. Mr. Foreman?
It's all right with me. Anyone who doesn't want to vote?
Let's vote.
Yes, vote.
I want an open ballot. I want to know who stands where.
That sounds about fair. Anybody object? All right. I'm going to call out your jury numbers. I vote guilty. 2?
Not guilty.
3?
Guilty.
4?
Yeah, guilty.
5?
Not guilty.
6?
Not guilty.
7?
I say guilty.
8?
Not guilty.
9?
Not guilty.
10?
Guilty.
11?
Not guilty.
12?
Guilty.
That's 6-6.
The crime is being committed right here in this room.
The vote is 6-6.
You know what? I'm ready to walk back into that court right now and declare a hung jury. There is no point in going on with this anymore.
Listen, Levin, I'd like to know why you changed your mind. And 2, why you changed your mind. And 6, why you changed your mind. Look, there are 6 men here who think we may be turning a murderer loose on the streets. Emotion won't do. Why?
Well, it seems that the old man did not see the boy run down the stairs. And I don't think it likely that the old man heard anyone scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old men dream. And if the boy did scream, "I'm going to kill you," we have the authority of this gentleman here to prove that he might not have meant it.
Well, then, listen, why don't we just take it into the judge right now and let the kid take his chances on 12 other guys?
6-6. I don't think we'll ever agree on anything.
Has got to be unanimous. But we're not going to be able to convince this guy over here.
At first I was alone. Now 5 others agree. There is a doubt.
You can't convince me ever that there's a doubt. Because I know there's no doubt.
Look, I'll tell you what. Maybe we are a hung jury. It happens sometimes.
We're not going to be a hung jury.
Oh, but we are right now. A perfect balance. Why don't we just take it into the judge?
Look, if there is a reasonable doubt, I don't see it.
The doubt is there, in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
Oh, wait a minute. What do you mean vote?
Oh, not again.
I still want to know, vote on what?
Are we or are we not a hung jury?
You mean that we vote yes, we're a hung jury, or no, we're not a hung jury?
That's right. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
We can't agree on anything.
Well, let's make this a majority vote. The majority wins.
If 7 or more of us vote that yes, we are a hung jury, then we take it to the judge and tell him we're a hung jury.
Right. And if 7 or more vote no, then we aren't a hung jury and we go on discussing it.
Nah, that doesn't seem quite right to me.
Well, it's the only solution.
I agree. I agree. It's the only way.
Anything to end this.
Right. Are we all agreed then? 7 or more vote yes, and we take it into the judge.
And let's call our votes out, each one of us.
Right. I vote yes, we are a hung jury. 2?
No.
3?
Yes.
4?
Yes.
5?
No.
6?
No.
7?
I say yes.
8?
No.
9?
No, sir.
10?
Yes.
11?
No.
And 12?
Hell yes.
Oh, no. Come on.
It is 6-6.
We can't even get a majority to decide whether we are a hung jury or not.
Look, gentlemen, I went along with the majority of the vote on this question. And I didn't agree with the voting that way. Not really, I still don't. So, I'm changing my vote. I say no. We are not a hung jury. I believe that the boy is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There are some things I want to find out from these gentlemen that change their minds.
Right. So we aren't a hung jury and we go on discussing it.
Oh, good. We go on.
2, tell me, why did you change your mind?
Well, number 8 seems so sure about it, and he's made a number of good points. Whereas number 3 here just gets mad and insults everybody.
Does the anger and insult change the guilt of the boy? He did do it. Are you going to turn a murderer loose because one of the jurors gets angry when he thinks that a murderer is being turned loose?
That's true.
There is a doubt.
I don't think so. The track is straight in front of the window. Let's take that point. So the L train would have made a slow rumbling noise as it goes around the corner. So the old man could have heard a scream, a high-pitched noise. And it's a tenement. They have the walls.
Correct. That's it. That's it.
And listen to me. What if the old man was wrong about the time it took him to get to the door, but was right about whom he saw? Please remember that there weren't any fingerprints on the knife, and it's summer, so gloves seem unlikely.
Now, I want you to listen to the man. He's got the goods.
And it might have taken a few seconds to get a handkerchief and wipe the fingerprints away.
This is a point.
All right. So why don't we just time this one also, just to see?
Just what are we timing again?
Yeah, let's be exact, please.
Look, what I'm saying, that the old man downstairs might have been wrong about how long it took him to get to the door. But he was right about whom he saw running down the stairs. Granted, it may have taken the murderer about 39 seconds to wipe away all the fingerprints and get down the stairs to the place where the old man saw him. The boy, that is.
This is right. This is right. Yeah.
we reconstructed the old man getting out of bed and walking to the door, and we timed that. Now, let's reconstruct the actual crime.
As well as we can reconstruct it.
Well, I think a murderer could use up to at least 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily up to that point.
Yeah. Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
Yeah, number 8, you do the stabbing.
No. I'll do it.
Number 7, why don't you be the guy who gets stabbed, okay? And you're younger than I, so you can do it. But remember, take 1 second to fall.
Right. And remember, he was found on his side, on his right side. So fall and roll on your right side. Okay? If someone hated another person enough to kill them, don't you think that it's reasonable to suppose that the murderer would look at the victim for a second or two?
Divorce yourself from this particular case. Just human nature.
Yes, it seems reasonable.
Hey, wait a minute. He falls and ends up on the right side, right? The father does. But stabbing someone is not like shooting someone, even if it's in the heart. The old man would have taken some time while you worked around a few seconds, writhing maybe for a few seconds.
Yes, that's quite possible. There would have been enough oxygen in the system to carry him for 2-3 seconds, I should think.
But would not the father have cried out?
Hey, maybe the kid held his mouth.
This also seems possible.
Also, there's another point we might bring out. Anyone who's clear enough mentally to wipe away the fingerprints after murdering someone, well, that person is also mentally fit to look around the apartment, or in this case, the room, to see if there are any clues. It would just be for a second or two, I should think, but he still would look around.
Hey, you know what? This is getting better and better.
Listen, guys, I'm just trying to make it clear. One doesn't talk about quality when murder is involved. Well, let's do it.
About the fingerprints. The boy wiped the fingerprints off the knife. What about the doorknob? I mean, if I saw a man coming in, a man I knew who hated me, and if I saw him take a handkerchief and wipe the doorknob, that would make me mighty uneasy. So the kid must have wiped the doorknob after the killing, and this too would have taken a few seconds.
Number 2, you timed the last one, so why don't you time this one too?
Yeah, all right.
Okay, stamp your foot when you want me to start.
Sure, Ali'll go. I'm just waiting for the hand to be at 60. Go!
All right. Look, I'm gonna kill you!
No!
So, he strikes at the old man, pulls out the knife, pulls out a handkerchief, looks at the victim for a second or two, wipes away the fingerprints of the knife, drops the knife, and then wipes the door knobs, wipes the indoor doorknobs, and then just looks around the room for some clues, and then starts to run. Stop.
Yes. That's 29 and a half seconds.
You see?
That's great. And whoever did the murder, old man, and I think it was a kid, he still had to run down the stairs, at least one flight of stairs.
Yeah, you see now.
Look, the old man downstairs may have been wrong on the time, but in view of this, I think it's quite reasonable to assume that he did see the kid run downstairs.
Exactly. So now both time sequences check. The one you did and the one we just did. What with the running downstairs and everything. It does pretty much check out on time.
Sure. He's an old man who wants attention. Well, he's probably right. But the old man feels the same way as everybody does. A man's life is at stake.
So, the story of the old man may well be true.
Well, except for the fact that he absolutely swore under oath that it took only 15 seconds.
We all seem to agree that it was 25 to 40 seconds later.
Look, you're now admitting that the old man lied in one instance and told the truth in the other. I agree that this does tend to confirm the story of the old man, but in part he's now also a proven liar. And this is by your own admission.
Listen, that may be true that the old man lies in part, but I think I want to change my vote now. Guilty.
Yes. What about you? What do you think?
I'm not sure what I think. I want to... Oh, come on. Initially, I said guilty, and then I changed. Now, I'm sort of swinging back to guilty.
Good. And what about you?
I am now in real doubt. Real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Ha! Now we are beginning to make some sense in here.
The vote is 9-3 in favor of guilty.
One more question about the old man's apartment downstairs. How many of you have lived in apartment buildings?
What are you thinking, Levin? Well, I tell you.
I don't know what you are thinking, but I know what I am thinking.
And what is that?
Well, I do not live in a tenement building as such, but it's very close. And there is just enough light in the hall you can see the steps. No more. The light bulbs are very, very small. And this murder took place in a tenement building. You remember how we stumbled down the steps.
Yes, the police officers were using big bulbs. And remember, one of them even had a flashlight, remember?
This old man, he misjudged the time by 20 seconds. On this, we all agree. And this old man looked down the dark hall of a tenement and recognized a running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Then could not the old man be 100% wrong about who he saw?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. You're making this about out of thin air.
Oh, for God's sake. We're a hung jury. Let's be honest about it.
Never. Do you truly believe there is no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
Then, pardon me, but I believe you do not truly understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand the term? What do you mean? Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? How do you like this guy, huh? He comes over here running for his life, and before he can even take a single breath, he's telling us how to run the show. The arrogance of him.
No one is asking anyone where they came from.
Look, I was born right here.
Or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't hurt for us to take a few tips from people who come running here. Maybe they learned something that we don't know. We're not so perfect.
Please, it's all right. I am used to it. Thank you so very much.
It's not all right, no.
Okay. I apologize. Is that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
All right, let's stop the arguing. Does anyone have anything constructive to say?
Well, there's something that's been bothering me a little. You know, the whole business with the stab wound and how it's made, the downward angle of it, you know?
Come on, don't tell me we're going to start with that. They went over it and over it in court.
Yeah, I know they did, but I don't go along with it. You see, the boy is 5'8" tall, and his father was 6'2" tall. That's a difference of 6 inches. Now, I think it's a very awkward thing to stab downward into the chest of someone who's half a foot taller than you.
Look, give me that knife. You're not going to be satisfied till you see it again. I'll give you a demonstration. Come on, somebody stand up.
I'll do it.
Right, now watch this, okay? I don't want to have to do it again. Right, you guys, is that 6 inches?
Pretty sure that's more than 6 inches.
Okay, let it be more. All right then. I'm gonna tell you.
Out!
Hey, that's not funny.
What's the matter with you?
Now, come on. Just calm down. Nobody got hurt, did they?
No, nobody got hurt.
All right. There's your angle. Take a look at it. That's how I would stab a man that's taller than me, and that's how it was done. Take a look at it and tell me I'm wrong.
Down and in. I think there's no doubt.
Did you ever stab a man?
Of course not.
Did you?
All right. Let's not be silly.
No, did you?
No, I didn't.
Then where do you get the information on how it's done?
What do you mean? It's common sense.
Have you ever seen a man being stabbed?
No.
Well, this boy here, he was an experienced knife fighter, yeah? He was even sent to reform school for knife fighting. Is that right?
That's right.
Now look at this. Look at this. Isn't that an awkward way to handle a knife? Don't you think?
Well, what are you asking me for?
Wait a minute. What's the matter with me? Give me that knife.
Have you ever seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have.
In the movies?
In my backyard, on my stoop, in the vacant lot across the street. Too many of them. Switch knives came with the neighborhood where I lived. It's funny I didn't think of it before. I guess you try to forget these things. Now, anyone who's ever used a switch knife would never have stabbed downward. You don't use a switch knife that way. You use it underhanded.
Then he couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed his father.
I suppose it's conceivable that he made the wound, but it's not likely. Not if he'd ever had any experience with switch knives. And we know this guy had a lot of experience with switch knives.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo here.
What do you think, number 12?
Well, I don't know.
Well, what about you?
Okay, listen, I'll tell you all something. I'm sick of this whole thing already. We're getting nowhere fast. Let's break it up and go home.
Okay. Before we decide anything else, I'd like to pull this thing together. Okay?
Wow. This should be good.
He has a right. Let him go ahead.
Do you want me to time this one too?
Hey, let's hear him.
Listen, gentlemen, I'm in advertising, all right? I'm used to the big shots pulling things together. Let's chip a few shots to see if any of them land on the green, eh?
I want you all to look at this logically and consistently.
And we have. He's guilty.
I want to ask you, is the kid smart or is the kid dumb?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Look, everyone knows that the kid is an experienced knife fighter. On the night of the murder, he goes and buys a knife. It would then take a very stupid kid to go and commit a murder, his father, with the very same instrument that everyone would associate with the kid.
And you're right, I agree. He's a dumb kid.
However, if he were dumb, why would he make the kind of wound that only an amateur would make with the knife? Is the kid smart or is he dumb?
I'm not sure I understand.
To murder someone must take a great deal of emotion, a great hatred. And at that moment, one would use the knife the best that one could. A trained knife fighter would use the knife as he had been trained, underhand. Whereas an untrained knife fighter would use the knife overhand. But this kid is being really smart. Everyone knows that he is a trained knife fighter. So what does he do? At the moment when he has to make the wound, he makes the wound of an amateur. He is a smart kid. So smart that he remembers to wipe the fingerprints away. So smart that he waits for an L train to go by to cover the noise. Now, I ask you, is the kid smart or is he dumb?
Hey. Now, wait a minute here.
Well, the woman across the L tracks saw the murder through the L train. So someone in the L train could have seen the murder too.
It's a possibility, but no one that we know of did.
But it would take an awfully dumb man to take that kind of a chance, doing the murder when the train is going past him.
Exactly. A dumb man. A very stupid man. A man who was so caught up in his emotions that he didn't hear anything. He probably didn't even hear the L train coming. And whoever did murder the father did it to the best that they could.
Yeah, so?
So, the kid is dumb enough to buy a switch knife and then smart enough to make the kind of wound that only an amateur would make. And then dumb enough to do it when the L train is going by so somebody may see him. And then smart enough to wipe away the fingerprints. To make this kid guilty, you have to say that he is dumb from 8 p.m. to midnight, then smart for a few seconds, then dumb again, then smart again, and then so stupid that he even forgets that he needs to have a good alibi. I ask you, is this kid smart or is he dumb? To call the kid guilty, you have to toss his intelligence out like a pancake. There is doubt.
I hadn't thought of that.
And the old man downstairs? He swore that it took only 15 seconds. But then we all realized that it took 25 to 40 seconds.
So the question is, does the old man lie half the time and then does he speak the truth the other half of the time?
Exactly. For the kid to be guilty, the kid has to be stupid, then smart, then stupid, then smart, then stupid, then smart, and so on. And also for the kid to be guilty, the old man has to lie half the time and speak the truth the other half of the time. You can reasonably doubt.
I'm sold. I'm sold on reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I think I am too.
I wanted some talk, and I've had it.
And I want another vote.
All right. There is another vote called for. I guess the quickest way is to have a show of hands. All right. Now, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. 9. All those voting guilty? 3. The vote is 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people.
Look,
How can you believe that kid is innocent? Look, you know how those people lie. I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, all right, they don't need a big reason to kill someone either. Also, they get drunk and then bang, someone's lying in the gutter. And nobody blames them here, okay? That's just how they are. They're violent. Human life doesn't mean as much to them as it does to us. Hey, look, hey, where are you going? Look, these people are drinking and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, somebody gets killed. They don't care. Look, most of them, it's like they have no feelings, you know. They have no feelings. They just think they can do anything. What's going on? Look here, I'm speaking my piece here, all right? They're no good. Sure. There might be some things that may be good about them, but that's the exception, all right? I've known a few who are decent, but that is the exception. Where are you going, man? Listen. You, look out, okay? Look, they're no good. There's not one of them who is any good.
I've had enough.
Right? You take it from me.
If you open your mouth again, I'm going to split your skull.
Look, I'm just trying to tell you something here, all right?
All right. All right. Sit down, everybody. Look, I still believe the boy is guilty of murder. And I'll tell you why. To me, the most damning evidence was given by the woman across the street who claimed she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right. Let's go over her testimony. What did she say?
I believe I can recount it accurately. She said that she went to bed at around 11 o'clock that night. Her bed was next to the open window, and she could look out of the open window while lying down and see directly across into the window across the street. She tossed and turned for about an hour, and then finally at around 12:10, she looked out of the window and she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I can see, gentlemen, that is unshakable testimony.
That's what I mean. That's the whole case.
Frankly, in view of this, I don't see how you can vote for acquittal. What do you think about it?
Well, I mean, there's so much evidence to sift through.
What do you mean? What do you mean so much evidence? What do you mean maybe? He's absolutely right. You can throw out all the other evidence.
Yes, that was my feelings. You know, I don't deny the validity of the points that he has made. Shall we say that on one side of the tracks, there is doubt? But what can you say about the story of the woman? Guys, she saw it.
Well, what time is it?
I think it is 10 minutes to 6.
You don't suppose they'd let us come back and finish this in the morning? I have a kid with mums.
Not a chance.
Can't you see the clock without your glasses?
Not very clearly, no.
Oh.
Yeah, glasses are a nuisance, aren't they?
But what do you do when you have to wake up at night and you want to see what time it is?
I have to put on my glasses and then look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. My father gave it to me when we first got married, but my wife and I, we haven't found a place to put it yet.
And do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. No one really wears eyeglasses to bed.
But the woman who testified she saw the killing, she wore glasses.
Wait a minute. Really? Did she wear glasses?
Of course, I remember now. She wore bifocals. They seem to be very strong.
That's right. Bifocals. She never took them off.
Funny. I never thought of that.
I think it's logical to say that she didn't wear her glasses to bed. And I don't think she would have put them on to casually glance outside the window. She testified that the killing happened the moment she looked out of the window, and the lights went out a split second later. I think it's possible that the woman honestly thought that she saw the boy, but in fact, all that she saw was a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does he know all these things?
Does anyone still think there is no reasonable doubt?
We'll always wonder. But there is reasonable doubt.
But I think he's guilty.
Does anyone else?
No. I'm convinced now. There is reasonable doubt.
You're alone.
11 votes. Not guilty. 1 guilty.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. I have a right.
Yes, you have a right.
Well, I told you that the kid's guilty. What do you want from me?
Your arguments.
I gave you my arguments.
We want to hear them again. We're not convinced. We have time.
Hey, listen, number 4. What's the matter with you? You're the guy. You made all the arguments. You can't turn now. A guilty man's going to be walking the streets, a murderer. He's got to die. Stay with me, please.
I'm sorry. I'm convinced. I don't think I'm often wrong, but I guess I was this once.
We're waiting.
There is a reasonable doubt.
We're waiting.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's gonna be a hung jury. That's it.
There's nothing we can do about that, except hope that some night, maybe in a few months, you might get some sleep.
You're all alone.
And it takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
Look, if there's a hung jury, there will be another trial. And some of us will point these things out to the various lawyers.
What? All right!
We're waiting. Not guilty?
Not guilty.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Reasonable Doubt by DRAMACT. I trust you enjoyed the deliberations along with all our jurors. I would now like to begin by introducing our delightful, fantastically talented cast to you. Jury foreman, Shantaram. Juror number 2, Zubin Vincent. Juror number 3, KB Unni. There he is. Juror number 4, Radhakrishnan Iyer. Juror number 5, Mohan Ram. Juror number 6, Bhushan Kalyan. Juror number 7, Johan Chako. Juror number 8, Yasra Ali Mirza. Juror number 9, Balaji Murthy. Juror number 10, will you come on? Juror number 10, Prashant Oliver. Juror number 11, Rohan George. Juror number 12, Rohan Natarajan. To give you all an idea, Unni is sitting in Bangalore. Mohan Ram is sitting in Bangalore. Bhushan Kalyan is sitting in Hyderabad. Rohan George is sitting in Tuticorin. Rohan Natarajan is sitting in Kunur. And Yasrab Ali Mirza, all the way in Hong Kong. And the rest of us here in Chennai to be with you to perform this play for you. And any of you would like to chat.
1 second. And to our director, Neelu, Neelakantan, the guy who's pulled this together, fantastic job. Thank you, Neelu.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys were awesome. Thank you so much. And to our audience who are still watching the stream, if you would like to chat with the cast, we are putting out the, you'll probably see the Zoom ID to join this room with us. If you'd like to come and chat with the audience, please do join the Zoom call. It should be in the chat box in a couple of moments.
I can't see a thing without my glasses.
In the meantime, you guys, what an awesome job. What an awesome job. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Neelu, all thanks to you.
Yes, Neelu, thank you so much for this opportunity.
So beginning was nuts. How bad was it in the beginning? Was that delay really bad?
Yeah, talk later. We're still live.
Oh, it's still live.
Audience are coming in.
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh. Hello.
No one's on yet. I think it's still 13 participants.
Oh, hello, YouTube. Hi.
I'm waiting for my wife to put the screen up.
Wait, we're still live on YouTube.
Yeah, we are.
Why is
No, I was supposed to stay in character.
Are we still in line, online?
Yeah, we are still online. I've worn my glasses so to see all better what you guys look like. Now I see.
It says on top, if you look at the top, it says live on custom line streaming. Till that goes away, we're still live.
Oh, are we still on YouTube? I'd like to state that I have no connection to the character I played. I love all people. Purely acting.
Well, who would have guessed it?
Yeah, who would have guessed, nah?
I actually got a message midway through from one of my friends asking if you had a cold. So well done.
Tell them, they worry extra nowadays. Nowadays, the worry is like, oh, you have a cold, oh, yo, take care. Before I'll come to work.
The audience, we are putting the Zoom ID there, but it's not coming across, I understand. If any of you can actually copy it somehow and come, we'll stay on for 5 minutes. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes,
everyone.
we are not.
How did you join?
Rather, your screen is gone.
Right.
That looks like Amira.
Yes, it is.
Join.
She knew the password.
We're getting some good messages. Appa, you can pour yourself a drink now, is what your son says, Balaji.
That's exactly what I was wondering.
My kids, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Saturday night.
Okay, all I can say then is, ladies and gentlemen, we will have to stop the live stream now. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do talk about this play. We would love to put it up again. If you guys would enjoy it, please let us know. We would love to do this again. Please message all the people you know. Send them the messages if you liked it. If you didn't like it, don't message them. Thank you very much. Goodbye and God bless as we go on live. Thank you.